Hi everybody, welcome to another YouTube video. Originally this video was supposed to be about the Japan Festival in Munich, but Ollie and I decided not to go. So instead I thought about making a Ask Me Anything, and you guys asked a lot of stuff over on my Instagram. So let's just get started. There really are a lot of questions, so if your question didn't get into the video, you might still check out my Instagram, because I decided that everything that doesn't get into the video will for sure be on my Instagram instead. Okay, so the first question is from Unbelievable B. How did you grow to love cosplay so much? I've always been fascinated by cosplay, and I've always been doing art and crafting and stuff. And when I started realizing that there are competitions for it and that there are people doing all the crazy stuff like armors and such, this was something where I started thinking, like, this is not only a hobby where I just do cozy sewing or anything, but actually the hobby in itself consists of so many little hobbies, and that there's so much I can learn and so much I can do, and basically there's no end to it. So
another question was from Jace. How do you store wigs so they stay styled nicely and won't fray or lose structure? Usually I keep them inside a bag with the styrofoam head, but I only do this when it's really necessary and the wig is styled in a very certain way and would otherwise ruin the wig.
Okay, next one. Merlin's Cos asks, would you want to do another Fate cosplay? The short answer is yes. Long answer is that I've already planned to make different versions of Jeanne d'Arc, like her fourth ruler stage, but also her altar version. And what I'm really excited about to do one day is Europa with the bull. I really wanted to be moving and I can sit on it and stuff, and yeah, I have plans already, but that's a tough cost plan, so this has to wait a little bit though until I'm more familiar with making machines, I guess. But yeah, it's a plan. Mio Cosplay asks, what do you think about the cosplay community? That's actually a tough one. Overall, I personally think that the cosplay community has quite a positive picture. I barely ever have any negative experiences with the cosplay community. But what I do see a lot lately, especially on TikTok, is cosplayers just bashing on the community and saying, oh, this is bad, that is bad, I don't like this, I don't like that person, they need to be cancelled, blah blah. But like, that's the whole content they're making. It's all negative based content. If you have that much of a bad picture of cosplayers, maybe that's just not the right hobby for you. Maybe you should seek out for something that makes you happier, instead of making your whole social content about negative things and things that you don't like. I don't know. Also, sometimes I hear from people that just sit down at a con, stay there the whole day, and just are grumpy. I think the same goes for them. Those are very few people, but I really don't understand why you seek negativity and seek for something that makes you unhappy, instead of looking for a nice hobby that you can enjoy. Umarukos asks, tips or advices when it comes to social media. How did you grow and what did you wish to know sooner? What I realized is that you have to really understand what your audience is and what makes you unique as a cosplayer. So let's say for me, as an example, a lot of people follow me that are cosplayers themselves, or that want to cosplay one day, or that simply enjoy cosplay. So what I usually do is creating tips and tricks videos, or anything that is helpful to other cosplayers. What would not work for my audience is, for example, if I started making, I don't know, feed pics or any kind of adult content. That's not what my audience is here for. Look into your insights on Instagram, see what people are following you. Also, when it comes to yourself, there can be something that you always will be recognized for. As soon as you get into your own style to make things, this is where people start recognizing you. Next one. Free Wings Cosplay asks, when you judge cosplays, do you have any unusual red flags? Yeah, I mean, there are the standard ones that are obvious or should be obvious. And besides those, so I already had contestants that, I don't know, they were just standing there with the nose up to the roof and were like, yeah, I did it all, goodbye. So that's not how I can give you points, and I had to ask them for every single thing. If you're passionate about your costume, the way you talk, the way you tell me how you did things is absolutely different. It's better for you even to just tell me by yourself, because this way you can include what you want to include, and you can explain to me what problems that you solve and which ways that you use and stuff. It's easier to give points that way.
And Luca Cosplay asks, how does the hair while styling not stick to your hands? I don't even really use my hands as much while I am using hairspray or anything. Usually I pin down the hair with pins and needles and everything before I use anything else. Then I go over the whole hair with the steamer and then use hairspray. And when it's done and dried and cooled down, then I will start touching the wig and take out all the pins that I've used. And there was also a similar question, how would you get curled bits on wigs to stay put? The trick is to wait until the hair has cooled down again. So if you're using a steamer, then you curl your hair up in either way you want to, and then you steam the part and wait like at least 10 minutes until the hair is dried and really cool again, and then you can take it off and it will stay as you wanted it to be.
Simtankos asks, what's your tip on how to win a coswalk or cosplay competition? I've witnessed some cosplay catwalks that are not prejudged and some that are prejudged, so there's a difference. If they are prejudged, then you should be focusing on the prejudging. Like, maybe make yourself some notes what you want to say, and especially try to at least say one sentence per element of your costume. Like one sentence for the wig, at least one sentence for the costume itself. Better to be more at that point. Maybe there are some gloves you're wearing, maybe a certain necklace. Maybe you made some shoe covers as well. Explain how you make them, and maybe there was something that was more difficult or not easy to Google. But if the competition is not prejudged, you have to convince the judges differently. You have to be convincing on the stage. The best way to use it is really stay there as long as you can and make sure that all the details you want to present are somehow focused with any pose you can make. Suhidari asks, is there a cosplay you'll never do again? And yes, there is. This will be the only time I will ever talk about it, so let's just get over it and please never ever talk about that again. It was, I don't know, my second or third cosplay was Shinon from Sword Art Online, and my gosh. I was still a minor and I felt so uncomfortable. It's not even like it's showing that much skin to begin with, just a bit, but that was enough for men to get weird around me at the con and afterwards when posting pictures. And also looking back at it, I really don't like how it fits me. Like I'm not really a good Shinon. I don't know, I really felt weird that day, not only because of the men, but also because of other cosplayers. I felt like they were judging me. Didn't give me any good feeling. So I have to say I kind of hate that costume, and I want to forget about it. Next one. Annalisa Lily 7 asks, what's your dream cosplay? For now, I would say it is Krista from Shining Nikki, but I want to start her soon, and I know I usually pick dream cosplays that I think are not achievable for me, so in that case it would be Aeolian and Princess Yarn from the Cosplay comics. I'm certainly scared that the same thing would happen as it happened for Shinon. I don't know, it's a scary thought, but I really wanted to cosplay both of them someday in my life. Crocus asks, what do you prefer to see in build books? More specifically, what would you prefer for cosplayers to write down? So in Germany, most competitions don't ask for build books, so I'm really happy whenever I see one to begin with. But I think the most interesting parts are, for example, your mock-ups, or especially if there's something that is not the usual case for any cosplay. For example, I don't know, if you have a smoke machine inside, if you have LEDs, if there's something moving in your costume, I don't know. That is the interesting part. How did you make solutions for that? And even if there's not anything I've mentioned before, like LEDs and stuff, that's absolutely fine. Even if it might be something that probably is simple for any judge to solve, it's still interesting to see what your thoughts behind that have been and what kind of plans you made for that. And that's what I personally would care about. Okay, next one. Kekakos asks, what do you prefer in cosplay? I don't even know why, but I seem to really like to make it difficult for myself when creating a new cosplay. But it actually is so much fun to learn anything new and feel like you're growing with the cosplay. But even when judging, I really like when people tell me about anything new that they learned, or that they had kind of like innovative ideas of how to solve anything that would have otherwise maybe not look as great as it does. So yeah, for me personally, I think I might like seeing progress being made. The next question is not a cosplay question, but next one is Gen B Cos. What do you consider a good cosplay? So especially if you want to compete, your costume kind of has to be polished. Like, I don't want to see any excess hot glue or any threads hanging out of your dress, or I don't know, anything like that. So it has to be clean. If you are passionate about your costume that you made, and you've been passionate while you were making it, this is already visible. If you just made the costume for the sake of making it, without really liking what you're doing, people can tell by the love of details and how much polishing went into making that costume. One of the last questions is Pure of Corpses. If I wanted to sew a duo cosplay with my brother and I that has a mechanic in it that requires us both, could I enter both of us in a competition? The best thing you can do is ask the organizers in an email beforehand. What I would be suggesting is that your brother should be kind of your helper rather than being a competitor himself, so that you are the competitor and you just have a helper for you. So that would mean that you can both participate without both of you being able to achieve 2 prizes.
And then Dreamcatcher Doll asked, how do you style short wigs to give them the fluffy layered boy look? I don't really have that many short wigs, but one thing I can recommend is using more wefts from a second wig or buy them separately and then sew them in between the weft lines of your existing wig, and this will make the wig in itself more fluffy.
The last 3 questions were from my story, which I currently can't see while filming because I'm filming with my phone. But one question was from Jeremy Goodwin whether I will be cosplaying from Dragon Ball. I probably won't, but if I did, it would be Android 18. Then Nordbrau asked whether I know about the Main Matsuri. I've heard about it, but I haven't been there yet. Maybe I can go there one year. In any way, if there's a con you want me to go to and it isn't something that is in my usual convention lineup, you can ask the organizers whether they would invite me as a cosplay guest, and if they're interested in as well, they will contact me, and then they will basically help me get to the convention. And the last question was from the Riot Trellis Southwood. It was about what my favorite cosplay is and what my most recognized cosplay and my least recognized cosplay is. Currently, my favorite cosplay is probably Devil Miku, because she's very, very easy to wear. I can normally walk around like even her shoes are comfortable. I also made a story a few weeks ago where I asked what costume most people know me by. And most people actually said that it was Starsea. And for the least recognizable, I think it might be Slane, because it's been such a long time since I've been wearing him, and since I'm generally known for all my princess-like dresses, not only Starsea but also Snow White, Snow Miku, and all my EGL gowns, I think nobody remembers me cosplaying a male character. So yeah, those were the questions that you had. And also generally, I'm always up to new questions and helping you guys. Just send me a message and I will see how I can help you guys. So yeah, that's it for now.